Alright, so this trick tip is going to be on the Pogo. Now, one thing you gotta keep in mind is that, contrary to popular belief, these don't take any balance at all. Now, I kind of compare this to riding a bike, where at first it's really foreign to you when you're wobbling all over the place, but once you do it a lot, you realize that as long as you keep moving, you don't need any balance to ride a bike. It's kind of like Pogos, where you gotta keep moving to maintain your balance. And it doesn't take any balance to just go up and down and up and down. But if you just stay in one spot, you're gonna fall over. So the point of the trick is just keep moving. As long as you keep moving, you don't need any balance. So don't let the balance meter bar in Tony Hawk Pro Skater fool you. Now, another big thing for this trick is never do this. It makes me really sad, and I don't like being sad. And another thing you gotta keep in mind is if you do these a lot, it's really gonna dent up the ends of your board. So I'd recommend you using an old board or something you don't really care about to do this trick with. I mean, you can do this with your regular board, but it'll just have some dents in it. It doesn't look so great. And it's not gonna break any of your boards or your trucks. As long as your ends are not delaminated, then you should be fine. And I have skid plates at the end of my boards, this plastic thing, so that when I do this a lot, it doesn't really kill my board. So if you want to invest into something like this, then go for it. Now, there really aren't any tricks you need to know for the Pogo. As long as you have good, balance and good board control, then you should be fine. But what you can learn are 50-50s. That'll be really helpful for you. And you could also learn 50-50s with hops in them, like this, because it's relatively the same thing as a Pogo, and you get some experience out of that. So there's two ways to get into this trick. One would be doing it from the side. Now, I'm a regular footed guy, and I do my Pogos regular footed as well, so I stand in no stop, and I take four of my fingers on the graphic of the board and my thumb on the grip, and I take this foot that's closest to my tail out from the board, and then I raise it up, I jump, and I do that. So again, it would be like this. Now, you really don't need a trick tip for that. It's really trivial. Now, the second way to get into Pogo, which is my favorite way, would be standing like this with your board. Your feet should be facing up the board. Now, you can use any hand to pick up the board, but I prefer to use my left. You can do whatever you want. So all I have to do is just jump, do that. So it'll be like this. Pretty self-explanatory as well. You don't really need a trick tip, I'd imagine. Now, for the actual part of the trick, when I get into the trick, I actually have my hand still on the board just for a split second to position it correctly, because sometimes I could land like this or like this, and it throws you off and you have to recover from it, and that's not fun. I just like to just go like this, put it right next to my leg, and then pop my foot back on. So when you enter the trick, all of your weight is going to be on this foot, like this. And it's actually really similar to, standing on a chair, where all of your weight is going to be on this foot, and your left foot's just going to be hanging out like this. Just like a visual, I guess. Now, I kind of have my truck foot bent just a little bit, and when you're about to jump, make sure you bend your legs so it goes like this. And the other foot, what it's doing is it's actually pushing the board up to my leg. Like, this is pretty much what my foot is doing. It's like this, so the board doesn't slip away from it. So what is going to be pushing at the board will be your foot right here. That's going to be pushing. And whatever part of your leg is in contact with the top of the board, so that the board stays with you the whole time. And make sure that your both legs are kind of squeezing together so that the board stays with you. So I'm going to go through the whole positioning of the Pogo. So my truck foot is going to be like this, like that. Do not have your foot like this, or you're going to fall over, or have it like this and fall backward. Make sure that your toes meet up with the wheel, like this. So your truck leg is going to be bent just a little bit, like this. And make sure your leg is right between these two wheels, and it fits snug, like this. And all of your weight is going to be on this foot, remember. And your other foot, this foot, is going to be right here. It's going to be level with your other foot, like this. And it's also going to be bent just a little bit, like how this foot is, where it's like this. And the part of your leg that makes contact with this part of the board is also going to be pushing this way, like this. And both your legs are going to squeeze so that your board stays like this. And your whole body should stay over the board. And with the top part of your body, it really doesn't matter. You can crouch like this if you wanted to. You can go like stand up straight like this. Whatever works for you. When I stand on the truck, I like to have my weight right here on my foot. Like right in the middle of my foot. Because that's where the truck is. And you don't want to have your weight too much like this or too much like that. Just have it in the middle. Wherever you feel the truck, have your weight near it. Now getting this all set up will take a little bit of work because the weight distribution is so foreign and it's not like any other skate trick. So don't get frustrated. It's normal that you'll have a lot of trouble because it's a weird trick. So there's three common ways to land this trick. One will be pushing the board to the side where this foot goes like this and the other foot kind of pushes it over and you land like that. I'll do one for example. Like that. So the way you do it is you take this foot and put it out away from where the board is going to be falling. So as your foot is right here, this foot is going to push the board over and your foot comes back around. It's pretty easy. You just gotta, practice with it. So make sure your weight is a little bit to the side where the board is going to fall because it's going to be like this right here instead of where you were before. So you kind of have to go like that. And another way to land it is if you're a pretty big 50-50 type of person, like that, your best bet would be to do these, where you put your hand on the board, you take it, and you flip it. So all you really need to do is take your hand where the 50-50 would be, take your front foot off, like this, angle it, and then flick it heel flip direction. Just like a normal 50-50. So it'd be like, you take it, your foot away, angle it, land. And the other way to land it, which is one of my favorites, is the underflip, which is like this. So to do that, what you do is you first make sure you're comfortable with your pogo, and you're going to stop for a second, and you're going to put your foot between the board and the leg, like this. It'll be like that. And as long as you have a little bit of contact with the board, you should be able to flip it fine. The good thing about this is you can pretty much flip anywhere, like you put your foot here, 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 but as long as you don't go too high, you should be good. Just like flick it right around here. It's pretty simple, you just have to kick it away from it, like this. And then you should be good. So yeah, that's the pogo. So one common problem you're going to be facing when you do this trick will be, when you do them a lot, your leg is going to be really irritated by this truck, and it starts to be really annoying. So what I did to prevent that was I took a cloth, I wrapped it around this truck, and I put rubber bands around it so it doesn't irritate my leg as much, and I was able to practice them for a bit longer, so that was really nice. So the next biggest problem is once you get into the trick, you like fall over like that. Really this comes with a lot of practice, but what you can do is make sure all of your weight is right here, like this, and that your foot isn't too far over or too far back. And make sure that your leg is between these two wheels of your truck so that it stays in one spot. And also try and make sure that your board is under you the whole time. It really all boils down to practice. So don't think that, I picked up the board one day and like, hey, I want to learn Pogos. I learned it one day, and it actually took me a few days to learn it. And I took a lot of time into it to not fall. So remember, don't give up if you're falling down a lot, because I fell down so much from this. So to help this problem, what you could do, instead of just transferring into the trick like this and trying to hold it out, just step onto the board and try to keep your balance like that. Just try to go like this, and then after a while, maybe try a hop and see if that works for you. And just go from there. And another problem people would have would be they can't hop. They'll be like this, and they can't really get anywhere. Just make sure you squeeze your legs together like this. And also look at the part where I talk about my positionings with my feet and my legs. And it's pretty much all about squeezing your legs together so that the board stays with you the whole time. And what you can do is you could like face a wall and hold on to it and just go like this and just practice jumping like that. That would also help you. So yeah, that should be the majority of the common problems. The ways to practice is, like I said, you could hold on to a wall like this, or just skipping to the pogo itself and practice those. And also, like I said before, you can learn 50-50s. They can help you progress with this trick, and maybe even 50-50s with, hops like that. That'll give you some experience with helping you progress with the pogo. So one really, really good practicing technique that you could do, that I strongly advise everyone to try, would be to record the number of hops you could do. Now, for example, it would be like this. And be like, okay, that was one perfect pogo hop. It wasn't this, don't do this, it was like this. And I did one perfect hop. I'm gonna see if I can beat that. And as you go through your practice, you manage to do this. And you're like, oh, I just did 2. I'm gonna try to beat 2 hops. And you just keep going up and up and up and give yourself goals. Like, I remember one of my goals when I first started pogoing was to make it from the beginning of my garage to the end of my garage. And after that, I was pretty much able to pogo for whenever I felt like. Like, I could just do this. As long as you keep pushing yourself, you'll end up being able to pogo forever, pretty much. Because it doesn't really take much work to do this. You just need to practice jumping and jumping and jumping and jumping, and learning that as long as you keep moving, you can pogo forever. So once you do get these pogos down, I recommend doing them with tricks that you do already know, and make like combos and cool stuff with them, and just punch around with it, and just like feel around to see what you can do and how far you can take the pogo, and you'll be pretty surprised of what you can do with it. So yeah, that's the pogo. If you have any problems or any questions or need help with something, feel free to comment or send me a message. I really don't mind. And yeah, that's it. Go have fun.